So this very man
Please, can you increase the volume?
he said,
Increase the volume, please.
okay, you couldn't hear what he's
Yes,
saying.
yes, you are
Oh,
not hearing.
oh, oh, sorry, I didn't have the volume.
Or no? Does okra lower cholesterol? Yes. Lower triglycerides? Yes.
Can you hear now?
Very good. Very.
Yes, I agree. Sorry, I didn't have the audio before.
Give you energy? Yes. Lower fasting blood sugar? Yes. Make you constipated? No. Lower HbA1c? Yes. Is okra a good antioxidant? Yes. Can it detox the liver? Yes. Protect the heart? Yes. Will it raise blood pressure? No. Support kidney function? Yes. Is it antibacterial? Yes. Can okra increase the absorption of other foods? Yes. Is okra bad for digestion? No. Can it reduce inflammation? Yes. Are lectins?
So, blah, blah, blah. What he's saying is not the most important thing to me. All I was able to pick from there is what is more important to me. This is a white man who is talking about okra, which is even the list of the most valuable things that we have in Africa. We had a kind of African day yesterday. All African researchers in my university came together and one of the things I had to let them know is this as well. Before, like I said, I've been keen on university to university collaboration, but I know the bureaucracy behind all those ones, so I just have to pick. So I just started this um, vision about individual to the individual researcher to individual researcher. On the individual to individual basis, it has always been publishing, but I just know I am not a fan of just publishing and then not making use of what we are publishing. No concrete or no tangible thing that will improve our society is being brought out there just to publish for publishing sake. So then I will stop sharing now. So I now said there should be a kind of, before I even stop sharing, oh, let me just explain that. There is a man, the man I said was part of those who were committed into this when I first talked about the university. This man, the idea you saw shook is about students. They call it students at the heart of knowledge exchange. And because I am such a person who is passionate about students, um, I I believe even the university itself should be passionate about students. So whatever thing we are encouraging, we should carry the students along. And that's the same thing even for those who are here, my whole life has been dedicated to students. And that is why even this collaboration, I brought in more students of, but as you can see now, they have a lot of challenges in terms of following things up. And so, but that won't stop anything. Probably the effort to be concentrated on the staff, and if students want part of it, to God be the glory. But the most important thing is a white man came and was talking about okra. He even called it okra. I don't know whether that is the correct pronunciation, but the most important thing is ela. Ela is the one referring to. And ela is one of the lists of nutrients that we have. So my concern is, rather than waiting for white man to come and explain the advantages of all these things for us, I spoke in African Day yesterday that they were listing so many of the valuables about Africa's safari, dance, music. I said those are not the only a wonderful thing about Africa. The medicine that you have not talked about is a wonderful thing that we have not really explored. I spoke with a professor who has been going all about she's a Brazilian. She has been taking schools here down to Brazil to equip them to do a knowledge collab, not what we are trying to build, a knowledge exchange. And after establishing them, making them independent, they had to get those tools themselves, and getting them independent, she moves to Africa. So when she first saw this show when I introduced it last year, and this very man took it up, when she saw it, she had to approach me that she's been into something like that and she would like to work with me. That is someone from Brazil concerned about Africa. What about us from Africa? This is why I said there is a need. If the universities are dragging feet about this, there is a need for individual to individual. But the funny thing is, I'm in humanities. I don't know much about those drugs. I did a video. I just hope I can locate the video. Let me just a minute. I did a video interview for someone who has a very good knowledge of on African medicine, the value and the effects of the some of the African, not even some of, he has a very vast knowledge, but we picked one or two of these and he was able to explain it. I even asked him to speak in Yoruba so people can understand what he's saying very well, and he will be able to explain because sometimes when you are translating into English, the value can get lost. So I asked him to speak in the language in those things are, so we can really delve into the nitty-gritty of it, and he was able to do that. Okay, here it is. Let me share my screen for. So people are so much happy with this, but it is one thing to be happy, it's another thing to take this thing up, and that is why I'm planning this collaboration for us to not just about publication, but also about really building something meaningful. This man was explaining to me the can you hear this video?
Yes.
Okay, great. Uh, okay, this one is not subtitled. Let me use the one that is subtitled for those who do not understand the Yoruba. Okay, this one is subtitled. Not this one. Anyway, he was able to explain some of the nitty-gritty about. We picked a particular app, not even app. When it's app, and they call it Eferring, and he explains the value that is inside that particular, and we have a lot of that we have not been able to explore, that we can write, even if it is writing and publication, we can write as much as, but like I said, it's not about just publication, it's about bringing out the value of those things that we can develop into full blown on solutions to one problem or the other. This man I showed the other time was talking about the value of okra, and that's to show you that he has dug deep into this item, and being able to highlight some of the nutrients, some of the value to health. So these are the things like I said, that's not my area. Mine is to provide this platform for collaboration. And then if there is any need for, or what they call it, resources, I can provide that. Resources in terms of idea, in terms of but digging into those things, this is not my area. I'm in philosophy, and this is why I'm calling on those who are in that area, health, medicine, and pharmacy, physics. I know they can do it better. This is why we are bringing this collaboration. Uh, we there are two phases to it. One is on the issue of publication, just to add to profile, but I believe we can do more than just publication. That we can really dig deep into the nitty-gritty of these items. Take one or two of them to start with, and then try to conduct as deep as much as research. The people here, in terms of the researchers and the students, they have access to tools, the advanced tools that will be helpful too. But people over there, they have access to resources and the knowledge. So we can learn from each other. So in the Africa Day yesterday, someone was talking about Africa only relies on, and that's the story the West have always told us, Africa only relies on oral knowledge. Someone has to correct him that that's not true. Even the peer review you are talking about, in the oral form, they do it in Africa on some of these things. And in the written form, it has been written. Apart from I don't want to go into that. Apart from the fact that some which have been written even before the contact with the West, before the colonialization, that were destroyed and burnt. Even after then, in this contemporary age, in the 20th century, people have been writing a lot. But we won't just say they've been not written enough, or they've been horror, just fold our arms. We'll also have to do something about it too. So we don't transfer the same story to the children that Africa do not have a written record. It is the we Europeans that are writing it for us. No, we don't want such. Like the example I gave, the white man I was telling about, he did not even know how to pronounce it, and he was telling us about the value of okra. That shouldn't be the case. We should be able to research into those things, bring about the value, and then add to our publications, not just publication, and also add to what we profile as solutions to some of the challenges, health challenges that we may have in the society. And if we combine those two sides, the tools and the knowledge and the resources, believe it will be awesome. One challenge is if we ask the white man to come and do it, a white man will be coming, of course, as a natural person. We talk about his or our own interest, which is not a bad thing. It is natural thing for anybody to force. When I'm going into something, I want to talk about my interest. But with that, we own the place. The only thing we will think about is how to develop that place, how to develop those items, and they can be a source of solutions to some of our challenges, health challenges, I mean. That would be the number one on our mind, not the interest that we want to gain from it. And that also always it's just sometimes that we are impatient. That brings even more interest, more value, more glory than first asking for what we are going to, how we are going to get our interests protected. No, that always ends up bringing more to either in terms of academic life or on what would I call it, community life. That we have prefer one solution to the other to a challenge. So that is the whole picture. And as we're talking, one of the persons we invited, Mary Jane, has joined. So, but we have many people who have been in, very much interested in this. And then I attended a conference 3 or 4 weeks ago. When I introduced this day, and it's a conference of researchers, and they were so happy. But my challenge has always been following up with people. I already got the contact, but now I think I have a reason to follow up with everyone to ensure that all the researchers are brought into. But I just have to create this meeting to get things going, because I don't just want to say things and then let it sleep. Before you know it, people lose interest and they lose the zeal. Or just create a group and then people will just be there for being their sake. We just have to get the discussion going. That's when we can even prefer way forward and move forward on it. So that is that. And so, do you have any question, addition, or comments on that?
All right. Thank you so much for the explanation, sir. The illustration or the illustrations are well understood. Not one, you have given some illustrations. So, but my first question is, are we looking towards only okra or fruit in Africa? Because okra is very interesting. I've dabbled into it before, being a biologist, an educationist. I'm in science education, biology option. Some times ago, when we normally teach, we discover that the only group of vegetables we have in Nigeria that could perform the function of fruit is the okra. It's that important. So the people in health, the public health, normally advocate through the public education that people should eat fruit to help their immunity, to fight a lot of diseases and sicknesses. And some will say they should go for vegetables. So, and tell us a lot of things vegetable could do. From the value of okra, we discover that okra can perform the two functions. So, well, why I agree with all that have been said on okra, I want to ask, is the project based only on okra, or we are considering anything found in Africa concerning food or fruits or vegetables? I think you need to answer that.
Oh, thank you for that wonderful question. I only use okra as an example, and not even the best example. I use it as more of I don't want to say negative example, because the person who was saying it, I said the person is a white person and was talking about okra, telling us about okra. So we shouldn't rely on a white person to tell us what okra or the value okra has. And if you see his followership followed, that's let me show the like and you see, you can see 27,000 likes on okra alone. 27,000 likes. If a white man is telling about okra, people were so surprised that we have 27,000 likes, then there is something wrong. So it's not just about okra. Okra is just an example, but we have so many. I mentioned on the video, this very video, I mentioned the video interview I did that I was trying to show. I mentioned how someone was explaining about ephedrine. I don't know the English version of that one, ephedrine, and the value of it, the health. What do you call it?
Saint leaf.
Saint leaf. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for the help. So the value of that saint leaf, he listed it it's endless. So we are not limiting to okra. We are not limiting to saints leaf. We have so many that we can talk about when it comes to African. But you raised the point which is very important, that okra can serve as vegetable and can serve as, and I don't know whether uh, uh, garden egg Igba can also do that. But anyway, that is where the research can tell. It is research that tells us what you just said now, that okra can act as a vegetable and can act as a fruit. So, and I don't think it's only limited to okra. The research, if it continues, we will discover that there is as many as possible in Africa. And also, it's not just limited to food. We have so many resources about Africa, but we have to start somewhere. And start talking about those things in generality is going to be general, just to say, and cumbersome for anybody to think about. But we have to pick one or two things to start with that interests the people who are around, and then be able to explain and dig deep into the value of those things, and then bring out the health. It is when people know. For instance, this video that this person did that caught the attention of 27,000, people will now know the value of okra. They want to buy it. They want to eat it. It is when people know the value of something that is when they are attracted to it. And who will show them the value? It is we, that we understand it, we own it. But we can only show the value when we have conducted a thorough research on it, know what it takes, what it entails, and then being able to tell people about it. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. So
Do you have any?
the
Okay, sir.
second one is what plan do you have in terms of how we are to go about it? Are we, of course, in terms of proximate analysis and all of that, to check the nutritional content and values, all of that, we can do that. But I want you to give us a more, explanation on how we are to exhibit this. About the publication, like you said, that you don't want us to be limited, of course, with publication. That's what intellectual property is all about. Intellectual property is not all about publishing an output only. It's about patenting and utilizing them. So
Yes.
we need to patent something. So, and we cannot start a patent when we have not come to the conclusion of where we are going. So now it has been understood that we are dealing with anything in Africa that could help addressing this sustainable development goal 3. That's good health and well-being, which is in fact very pertinent to me, as like 2 years ago I've been in that line through curriculum. I had my PhD in curriculum studies, science option, and I discovered that a lot of curriculum that have been planned over years, the implementation were not covering the practical areas. That's why many people don't know the intent and details of a lot of things. For instance, in biology, they did with fruit, type of fruit, by ripening, by this, by that, some there is all of that. They just teach the student right from school. If we are not going into details, we will not be able to understand those nutritional value to cut away all of these excesses, including the things that is altering people's chromosomes. So that's what we call mutations. Mutation happens because of what we eat. Students go for what is expensive and is chemically concentrated
Mm.
than what we have that is so cheap, and they won't buy it. They feel, is it not fruit they just brought? Is it not mango? Is it not, like we are talking about now? Is it not cashew? When last have we seen our children in schools now taking cashew, taking all of these things? They feel it's too common, they feel it's too local. but they want to buy Five Alive. Somebody that left Orange and did not buy, and is buying Five Alive. So that's you see them taking it, and parents, and there is one philosophy I agree on with. Half education is a disease. Lack of education is death. So if you are going to be educated, you should be educated in
Fully.
full. Then there is a book written in my department, Education for Fullness. So it's good to have a thorough education, the fullness of it, so that these parents, the parents we have nowadays are parents that are supposed to be baby. We call them baby parents. Those who are not well informed, and they are also informing other generation. So they are the one buying Lucozade boost, Lacasera, Bobo, and putting in the bags, lunch bags of their children. And those things are contributing to health issues. See, you go to primary school now, at lower level, they have eye issues already. They are using glasses right from nursery schools. And it's not just immediate past generation did not experience that. And the life expectancies in Africa generally have dropped. Before, Asian and Africa used to take a lead over years, over decades, in fact, century ago. But the gap, there's a serious disconnect between the last generation and this generation in terms of life expectancy. And I was shocked when I discovered it was 49 years. Now, even European people who don't really have
All those things.
plants, yes, they export them and they are doing well with them. But Africans have them, they will not hit them. They want to, the one they have refined, they want to hit. So I think this thing is very pertinent in a time like this. And that's what I'm using curriculum to achieve. Going back to the school level, that when parent has already failed from home, sociology said the first agent of socialization is home. Family is the first agent of socialization. But I discovered that many parents are now baby parents. So when parents have already failed, teacher must not fail. So that's why we can achieve this through curriculum too. When we, after patenting this thing, we can announce it through schools, through curriculum implementation. They will learn basic science in school. They will learn biology in schools. They will learn agricultural science in schools. They will learn nutrition, home economics in schools. So we can now bring this up at schools level, then public health educators at community levels, adults and literacy experts at also community and societal level. I think it will work that way. But I just want us to see where we are going in terms of the patenting.
You just explained why I had to call this meeting. Because if we don't discuss, we cannot get. I usually tell people, I am not the type that will come and say I have everything. I'm not. I don't hide under one finger. I have everything figured out. But nevertheless, I am not someone without vision. If you are talking about the draft of what to start with, where we are going, and the pattern, I already have that, and I will share it on the group. But if you're talking about all these things you mentioned, I never had any idea about it. You're already talking about even the educational aspects of it. I didn't have that. That is why I don't come to say I have everything figured out. You bring people, there's a vision, you bring experts in together who will add you have gone into the aspect of curriculum and you have developed the knowledge about it. You understand the problem in that area. That is why you're bringing it into this context. And thank God it's timely. There is a conference. I attended an African Day conference and I was able to convince them on it. And I'm presenting this proposal as well. We are having a conference on the 12th of June in 2 weeks' time. So I'm presenting this as well to them because I'm not just going to say it as, like I said, I want to encourage as many researchers as possible into this. And funny enough, the theme of the conference is Africa and the future of education. What you just said, thank God we are recording this, and thank God for AI. It will help us get the summary. It's something you can summarize and even present at that. I already told them that. Anyway, I'm still going to reiterate it today here that they have to make it hybrid for people outside to be able to present in there, so that it's not just those who are able to attend in person that they can. And I'm still going to follow up on that to ensure these are things where it's going to go to. You're already bringing another layer to what we are talking about. So that's why I said I won't come here to say I have everything figured out. Public health, nutrient, those are not my areas. But when I see my whole area, I thank God, I boast in God in it. I am an expert in my area, and the area is to see the problem, general problem, and pick ideas and what can be done. How it's going to be done, that's not my. That's why the experts are coming in. But to answer your question, um, in terms of the network, don't worry, God will. God has sorted out. That's one of my key strengths through God. In terms of where we are going, the extent as which we can see, we can't even see anyway, because God has said what eyes have not seen. So we can't see where. If you can see where you are going, then it's no longer a vision. So the part of it is what you are already adding to it. We get um, publication from this. We get patent from this. We ensure that this is, and for the problem you've mentioned, like I said, when people do not understand the value of something, for instance, the 27,000, I keep repeating, the 27,000 that follow this man, they already know the value of okra. They won't joke with okra. When I was also a kid myself, there is one leaf, I don't know the English, bure, we call it, okay,
Water
water
leaf.
leaf, I think. Yes, I think water leaf. The one terrible name that we gave it to it, that was what reminded me of the name, we call it Bademilebo. Because once you hit it, the water will flow down to your elbow. You'd have to be licking it on at your elbow. So we call it Kadimelebo. That means meet me the water. You meet the water at the elbow. Because of that, we use that ridiculous. We ridiculed it. It was when we were growing up that it was that we were we understood the value, the strong value of um, that leaf, that vegetable. And it's because it grows at the back. It doesn't need planting. It doesn't. It's a wild vegetable. It grows on its own, and it develops on its own. It's even immune to weed. So it grows, and then it's because it's something you can just go and cultivate and then harvest and then eat. But because it's like that, we don't value it. The same thing like the cashew and all those things that you mentioned, because we can see it all around, we don't know the value of it. But if and that's what was said, I could see, and that's one not terrible anyway, one painful thing. I saw researchers and they were lamenting about problems. I said, no, I am not here to lament about problems. Africans don't have written or tradition. So are you just going to talk about the problem and leave it? That is why we are here to solve the problem. So all the problems you've seen, that is why we are here to ensure that we get solutions to those problems. And the problem is people don't understand the value of those things. We have to, our research into it will bring out the value to make them understand this and be able to take advantage of it. I don't. Gone are those days I use five alive. We're working on five alive. Right now, thank God for this environment. They've encouraged smoothie. Every day, I just 2 hours ago, I just is it ground or grinded? Which one? I just ground the fruits that I'm going to take as my smoothie. That's my own what do you call it, juice. I don't take just any juice because I know when God is saying you God to protect your health, He has already put in the natural law, the physical, everything belongs to God. So he wants us to work with those laws. You can't be working against the natural law and be expecting to have a long life. My grandmother was 97. Her sister was 103. And it's because they relied on those natural things to be able to. So we cannot be using chemical and expect long life. I just told my landlord here just now about it. You can't be eating chemical and be expecting long life. So rather than looking for buying for life, I will just buy fruit, grind it together. It becomes add coconut water to it. And if I don't get coconut water, I add ordinary water to it. And it becomes like juice and I drink it. So why would I be? But people will not know the value of those things except we. And that is why God is calling us at this moment to be able to dig deep into those things, tell them the value, and then be able. So to answer your questions, if I can't tell you the end because the end is very far, but I can tell you the planned process that has been established. One is to bring researchers from the two sides together, and I am keen on more students. I belong to academy, so I have a lot of researchers. I belong to so many research organizations. I just came back from one yesterday that I called Africa Day. It's for the researchers in my university. So, but like I said, I'm keen on students. The students will come, especially students from our side, they will come here. They will join the group of those who are going to write stories, although not all of them anyway. There are still some who are still writing about Africa. They will join the group of those who are going to write about things about here, and they will just submit the paper and that's the end. No, I don't want it to be that. They have to pick things back home that can even bring them home. The university, if they go to a university, if they can, there is what they call fund for research that people, the university will sponsor their trip and they will be able to get those things, and it will, just like you said, it will become patent, it will be their own, and depending on who they work with down there, it becomes the two of them's what they call it, registered, what they call the copyright or patent, whatever name you call it. But just coming in and be writing just with the same way you've named the problem you've named in our country, that people just write and then it's all about theory, and because the theories are not always interesting, they abandon it. There is no practical aspect. But if we pick each person picks one of these things, work with someone over there, it's not just going to be a project they are going to submit to the university. No, it's also be what will define their whole life going forward. And I've always told them that there is a challenge of visa here because you have to have a reason to be a legal resident here. That is a roadmap to reason for itself. So it has a lot of um, ripple effects. One is just human to mention, but there is so much to it. But like I said, we can't be talking in general. We have to highlight. So highlighting it is not a problem. I have a document already into that, to the one that I even want to present and the one that talks about proposal, a plan. I have both, and I don't always concerned about who is going to take it. I don't. It's not even my. That's not my problem. My problem is for it to be done. We have people who are in this area who can and develop these things. So the most important thing for me is to bring those people together, and I'm already out of the picture. My area is far different from these, but I could see the what they call it, the value in this, and thank God for this white man anyway. He's one of those who inspired me to. When I saw his okra, I said, no, a white man cannot be telling me what okra is. It has to be us. So this is. I hope it answers your questions.
Yes, yes, it's okay.
Great. On Madam Mary Jane. Are you able to talk? Any question from you?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. You and this your network. Someone from Nigeria has someone from Nigeria
Am I
has a good.
audible?
Yes, you are getting audible. Thank God. You brought MTN
No.
to the UK. Okay, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Right, I was confused a bit because
Ah,
in the communication I saw that the meeting was shifted. So I just woke up and said, let me check what's happening on my phone, and that's when it's 30 minutes. I just jumped in. So that's notwithstanding. So based on what Oluwaseun said, so is it that each person has particular one is gonna do, or everybody is doing the same thing? Like you say, African food. That's where I got okra, and he was asking if there are other African food, which you already answered. So my question is this: is everyone doing okra, or are you gonna state every other plans that we are going to research on? So that's why I want to get clarification. Thank you.
okay. Thank you for that wonderful question. It all depends on individual's interest. Everybody cannot research on the same thing. And if we have 10 people, it's already what do you call it? If you want to whether publish or competent or anything, it will be too much for or such. So, but like I said, it also depends on individual's interest. But in terms of okra, I said okra. I've already said that okra is just an example. We are not relying on okra alone. We have so many fruits, foods that people are not keen on or are not aware of that we need to research on and bring the value out for people to know what it is. So, in terms of what you're going to choose, one, it depends on your interest, and two, it depends on the interest of the person you're going to work with to choose what. And then also, on the aspect of the students, I will encourage them to speak with their anyway. I will share the proposal with on the group. So I will encourage students to speak with their supervisor back or probably a tutor and the university to see what start talking about because you get to a stage where you write projects or for master student project or dissertation for PhD students to be a complete thesis. But for those who are mainly masters, it's time for you to start talking with your tutor on what area you think you can dabble with if you are not aware of one yet. Also, you also can conduct a research in an area. Someone has already talked about okra. If that is not exhausted yet, something you don't want to go into something that's people have already fully discussed what it is. So that will also determine what you're going to choose. You first research into different things we have and see the ones that people have done a lot of work on that you don't want to repeat those works because that's what research is all about. And even if there is already work on something, even the same okra we're talking about, so the research might not still be fully done yet. You want to research into it more. So it all depends on what's available for research, and that's what's available determined after you have also examined these items and see which one is valuable that can easily be researched to and then get people's get an approval. Two, that has not been overflowed, that you think that once you start digging into it, it will give you the full copyrights on it. That when you are able to research and discover what you want to discover on it, you full right. And of course, it also depends on the person you're working with. To pitch people together, both here and back home, and see how they can build this research together. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. You mentioned something. You said that after researchers, that each person needs to write like a project on the topic. I
Yes,
didn't get that.
you in your university, part of your modules, did they include projects in part of your module?
Sure, of course. No, I'm asking about this research you are doing. Yes, of course. There's
Mm-hmm.
dissertation.
And I said it can also be your topic. If you are in
They've
public
already
health, if
chosen
you are in,
topic. They've chosen
is that what?
topic already.
They've
They've
chosen topic
already
for you
chosen
already.
topic. Yes, so which has already been approved.
Ah,
So
and it
they're
doesn't have
working
anything
on
to
it
do with
already.
it doesn't have anything to do with this. Okay, you're already working on it.
Actually, mine is the food insecurity, so it's not specifying any food at all. So
Food insecurity,
that's
just
passed on.
that's what I'm talking about. You will just write on it, and it might not really be interesting. And most of the times, you'll be focusing more on the theory aspect than the. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. We anyway,
Yeah, of course, that's what they want.
uh, not what
They
they
don't
want.
want
It is you also
primary
have a
research, they
say.
want secondary research.
You also have a say in what they want. You can tell them what you want.
Now will
So
be
it's
second dissertation. Already a dissertation is going on.
okay. It's already going on.
Wow.
But you won't say that's what they want. You are the one doing it. You can tell them what you want as well. But anyway, that's settled out. It's not really. There's no argument about that. I think it's part of what we're going to put into orientation next time that people are coming in. You don't just let them choose anything for you. You are going to commit your time to it, so it should be something valuable that will. You have so many things you want to pursue, and you should be strategic. No time to just be wasted on any form of writing or what have you. You have to be strategic about what you are doing, how it fits into your overall vision and overall aim. So that they cannot just give you anything and say you go and work on it. But anyway, that's for those who are still open to that, not for you anymore. But on your home case, you like to be a research outside your curriculum, but despite that, you have access as a student. You have access to the university tools, and you can always liaise with them. This is the idea you are trying to develop, and then they will give you access to whatever tools you want to make use of, and in collaboration with the person you're working with down back home, that's going to assist both of you. You have access to the
That's
tools in
fine.
the university, and whether an academic staff or as a student, you have access to the tools. So nobody can, even as an alumni, as alumnus or alumna, whichever you be, you have access to it. So, the, do you have any other question, or does that answer your question?
No, no, answered my question. I remember another one.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay.
Our time is fast spent. Please go ahead. You have another one? Did you say?
No, I said there is no for now. No.
Okay. Okay.
There is no for now. I think that had
Oh, great.
answered my question.
Oh, great.
Uh,
Thank God. Um, Dr. Kupola,
So sorry. Sorry. Let me just ask one thing again. What if what I'm doing my stuff and so what if at the end of the day, me and Show Oluwa Show is doing the same thing unknowingly? So how do we align that so that people should
That's
not be
why we are.
annoyed?
That's why we are working as a group. So people won't choose the same thing. Don't worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we are working
Okay.
as a group, and that's one of the anyway. That's one of the duty I have to ensure that people are not doing. But you on your own, you first have to research on what is most what is not yet having a lot written on
Yeah.
it. Even if it's a lot written on it, you still see a gap in it. Then that's what you're going to work
Yeah.
on. But in our midst, we are not going to work on the same thing, except
Exactly.
by choice.
Okay.
So, Dr. Mupoda, any addition before we call it a night?
Yeah, no, for now.
Oh, great. So I will share this meeting ID. And you say you are interested in the conference coming up. Are you available for the 12th of June?
No problem.
Oh, great. So I will share the summary of this and then the recordings for everyone who is unable to make it. And then whoever is much interested will pick it up. And then we can and then know what to do next. Well, what's next step to take.
Yeah,
So
concerning the conference, hope it is free for us.
don't worry about payment. Whatever we are introducing for now,
Okay,
we want to ensure that it's free.
it's okay.
We are not here to make life more difficult. We are a group of people who want to make life easier for also. So, um, for now, there's nothing like that yet.
From that conference, are they publishing anything from it or for knowledge sharing only for now?
For now, it's knowledge sharing. But
Okay,
if you want to uh,
publish it
what publish it,
later.
you first
Okay,
get feedback from people from that conference and know how interested they are about it, and you can
okay,
also get co researcher from that conference, given people's response. You just drop your email and then let them know that you are open to if you are open to collaborative research on that topic. And so,
okay,
once the people see the interest in it, then you can take it up from there, develop whatever the response. Of course, you know the process about that anyway. So,
okay,
then we can then talk about but in terms of where to publish it, don't worry. I said those are the reasons why we are here to ensure that is done. But this very conference is not for publication; it's for knowledge sharing and
okay.
then networking. So
It's okay.
if you now are confident about what you are doing, that you want to take it to the next level, and you have worked on it, you have completed it, you want to publish it, then don't worry about that.
Okay, that's all right.
So, um, the absence of anything else, we want to appreciate everyone. I want to call it a night and say good night for now. I will continue on the group. Oh, this man is just coming in. It's just a pity. We can quickly introduce himself. Hi, Ezekiel. Hi, Ezekiel. Can you hear me? You are muted if you're talking. Hello, Ezekiel. We're about to leave in. We just wanted to introduce yourself so people can get to know each other before we call it a night. Hello, Ezekiel. Are you there? Okay. So
Evangelist.
we appreciate everyone, and we want to say good night for those who have come and gone, and those who are still. Appreciate everyone. Dr. Upola, Mary Jane, and Ezekiel who just joined. Good night.
Right. Good night.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
Turn on volume.
Good night.